Leopards, they've gone 3 matches on the trot without picking up a win or a draw, and well, for them, they need to desperately turn things around if they are to stay in the Absa Premiership next season. For Orlando Pirates, of course, the big news: Brighton Klongo comes in and starts ahead of Senzo Meyiwa for his first appearance in the Absa Premiership. Watch out for Oupa Manyisa, one of the shining lights in the starting 11, whilst Dumiso Mapena yet to find the back of the net. He's a man with a huge point to prove in closing out this campaign. Out at Black Leopards under Abel Makubele, they look to head in Nyirenda, the most experienced of the back 4 outside of Zaga, along with Tlou Segolela, another who's having his first start of the season here. Tlou Segolela will look to add into the firepower up front alongside Rodney Ramakalela. A few supporters have come out to get behind the side that won the treble last season and the season before, the side that made history in PSL history here. And well, it is a side here that, after losses to Mamelodi Sundowns in their last fixture and Chipper United the fixture before that, needs to turn things around here. Last win against Bidvest, 3 matches back, as Brian Marte takes us through the formations along with the players to watch.
It's all about pride, it's all about reputation. Happy Jele wears the captain's armband. He has to lead that defense, but key for that defense, it's this man Roy Mahamota alongside Ayanda Gaba. They're also, of course, in the midfield, very competitive. The return of Tandani Nchumayelo alongside Oupa Manyisa, he is key. And guess who's playing as a centre forward? It's Mpomakula playing alongside Dumiso Mapena. Roswe Kadowa. Has that day arrived? For Black Leopards, it's survival, and they need the best ammunition. Azwindene Mapaha, he is in the goalkeeping department. Posted Omoni is not there. Roman Banama's skills is key for creativity up front for this man, Rodney Ramakalela.
Both sides in a huddle. Both sides haven't had a great form over the last couple of months here. For Pirates fans, their big joy, of course, has been in the CAF Champions League. Roger Dessau lost his last match in the CAF Champions League, but it was a winning loss, so to speak, as his side did move through to the CAF Champions League group stages. That's a huge accomplishment for this group of players here, and a huge accomplishment for South African football on the whole, up against a side that was the most impressive, mind you, in South African sides in CAF World competitions last season. And Sunday Chizamba here will be hoping to see a huge improvement in the match against Mamelodi Sundowns, or from that match, while he will also be looking to see his side find the back of the net on a few occasions here. Andile Jali in charge of the fixture. Pirates will get this match underway. They'll be, in fact, it looks as though it will be Leopards. A bit of confusion out in the center of your field a moment ago. Leopards now will get this match underway, attacking the goal to the right of your picture, whilst Orlando Pirates, the home side, will attack the goal to the left. 1 win in the last 10 for Orlando Pirates. The form they've experienced here in the Absa Premiership over the course of the year 2013 has seen the league championship slip away, and it's Leopards here looking for the bright start, very quick to get into that final third. A better pass out wide, and they may have been on for a possible chance at goal.
Well, that's what they need. They need to have a good start. They need to impose their style and their play to Orlando Pirates.
Now, Segolela with the touch, then speculation as to whether he'll be playing his football at Pirates next season. Ball into the central areas. Dumiso Mapena beaten to the punch then. There to battle for it here. That's Leopards through Tlou Segolela, playing just in front of the back 4. Then wearing the number 44 jersey, 23-year-old. Had to wait a long time to get his first start of the season. This campaign under at Black Leopards.
You're gonna have joy calling out his name, right?
Yeah, a whole lot of joy. Well, he's one of 2 in midfield here. He, along with Diani Mabunda, will be vital for Leopards in that midfield battle, battling against the likes of Manyisa and Nchumayelo as well. Be interesting to see what position Pomakula takes up, whether he is out and out striker or does drop back into midfield.
Well, he's playing with Dumiso Mapena up front, so they'll try and alternate. He'll drop to inside and expect Oupa Manyisa to join in with Dumiso Mapena. I had a chat with Tevo Homolo. He's trying to explain how That will pan out to Oupa Manyisa, encouraged to go join in with Dumiso Mabena.
Mabunda with the ball out wide. On a day where there was little to impress from Black Leopards. He along with Monama against the Mamelodi Sundowns were the players that pretty much stood out for Leopards. Completely played off the park in that encounter, whilst for Orlando Pirates, their problems, when you see those changes in attacking areas, when you look at the last couple of matches, they haven't found the back of the net. Didn't score here against Chippa United, didn't score against Mamelodi Sundowns as well. Changes have been rung into the attacking department, and Mabena and Mahula now lead the front line. Now, Segolela, first touch is a little heavy then, and Leopards will have a chance to play it out. Of course, with these sides, had they maybe experienced better form coming into this fixture, they do like to play football, both these sides, put the ball in the ground and move it about, as Leopards now look to get into that final third. Pirates quick to get some numbers behind the ball here. Bobe. Mabunda. Pirates have been so quick to get numbers behind the ball here. Leopards are now struggling to move towards that final third. In fact, are forced backwards here. Maybe when they do push forward, it's a good flick on here from Bobe. Great chance! And it's Leopards that find the inside of the post and open the scoring through Rodney Ramakalela. He's not of the season. Under 4 minutes is taken for Leopards to get the perfect start. Don't think their fans can quite believe the start they've gotten off to.
You can understand why they have to celebrate. It is a beautiful goal. Combination play. At some point we thought Pirates were putting them under pressure, forcing them to get out of their zone. They brought the ball back into the Pirates half, and lapse of concentration, poor marking, Ayanda Kavarwe Mahamudza, and they exposed the goalkeeper Brighton Mkongo. Look at this long ball being played. Ongesi Bobe with a flick, and you look at the run. Ayanda Kava ball watching, because again it's picking. The marking was so wrong, but you've got to give credit to this man. He's a predator. Clinical finish. Well, it's a beautiful goal.
Stunning goal this. He anticipated that flick on, then Bobe nodded it on. Ramakalela was expecting the ball to come in that direction. Strong shot, power onto that. Keeper got a hand onto it, but that was all she wrote. Ramakalela was off celebrating, and it's Leopards that have gotten off to a start that's good enough to see them now have their confidence up here, leading by a goal to nil. Ramakalela, the man that's made the difference. Pirates, the side that has it all to do. Pungwayo, Mapena the only man in the box for the time being, just over his head. Leopards taking no chances, safety first.
Well, you can see they're bringing numbers, they are alert, they're trying to cover all sorts of angles. They will sense the danger, because on the right-hand side there was Tlou Segolela. You also have numbers coming in from Dumiso Mabena and Pomakula. That's good defense, and the confidence is high. They are leading Black Leopards.
Now they need to come to the party on the defensive side of the game to Black Leopards. The numbers in the box. Yeah, Jele on that near post. Has scored a couple of goals as Happy Jele during the course of this season and over recent seasons as well. Masugu now up against his former side, mind you, Black Leopards. Masugu made a name for himself out with Lidodatuba.
I'm sure he would want to come out here and do well against his former team.
Good movement off the ball here. Pungwayo. Manyisa. That's the turn of Leopards to have plenty behind the ball here as Pirates Pro try and find a way into that final third. Segolela. No way in. As Leopards will look to hit on that counter of Ramakalela. He felt there was touch showing in that challenge then from Njumayelo.
I think he was right. It was touch showing from Kandane. It was a 50-50 ball.
Now early ball towards the near post. So for Black Leopards, if you are just joining us, found the back of the net through Rodney Ramakalela. Impressive strike. I'm on about the edge of the area now. Njumayelo from a bit further out, trying his luck. Closed down there by Mabunda. He'll be vital, as mentioned earlier, in battling against Shumaelo and Oupa Manyisa. For Roger Dessart. Wow, the look on his face pretty much says it all here.
Can't believe it. That's a man that de-stresses by getting involved in kickboxing matches. I'm sure he would go back and say, this has been very stressful playing at home, and they've been playing some good football in patches. In some of the games they lost, I mean, Sundowns, they were playing good football, but they ended up losing the game.
As things stand, they've already lost 3 games in a row. When you take the TP Mazembe game into consideration, if they lose here tonight, it'll be 4. What's interesting about the situation as it is now is that for Pirates, they conceded first against a side that is in that relegation battle in Chippa United, went on to lose that match after conceding late that evening. They've conceded first against another side in that relegation battle here in Black Leopards. They'll be hoping this time around they can turn it around.
Well, if you look at the alerts against Chippa United, was late in the game.
Looks a good ball, Bateman! Oh, that's a top-notch play from Tlou Segolela. The run matching the pass. Pirates waste little time in finding the equalizing goal. Just 4 minutes, the difference between the 2 goals.
Once more, it's another beautiful goal. I think we're in for beautiful goals, well-whacked goals from both sets of players. We saw it earlier on with Ramagalera and Tlou Segolela. Riabaya is saying, we will do it as well. And they've done it. They've shut the Dodoa fence, but we'll have to look at it. Again, it's a long ball played on the far side. You look at Tlou Segolela's run, and it's Oupa Manyisa with that supply. He timed that run, got in between the goalkeeper and the defender. Good pass. Clinical finish. Just that touch. It's the pace, it's the technique. He uses the inch step. The goalkeeper hesitated as well, and so was the defender. It's Mavusela. Good goal for Mavusela. He kept his eyes on the ball as well.
That's a contender for part of the season from Oupa Manyisa, if there was such an award. And for Roger Dessart, wow, he'll be happy. Side wasted little time in getting back into this fixture. It's all tied at the Orlando Stadium. Segolela and Ramakalela, 2 goals in the opening 8 minutes. That's a goal every 4 minutes. Last time I did a Leopards game, there were 7 goals scored. And for the first 70 minutes, we had a goal every 10 minutes in that encounter. So, neutrals will be hoping for goals here. And while these sides haven't disappointed with the start they've gotten off to here, the defensive bit of their games, though, may be questionable in the opening 10 minutes.
Well, you're right. There's always question marks in terms of the marking. If you look at the run at Tlou Segolela coming on the right-hand side, there's no chance for Mavusela to defend that one. Masogo.
Pretty sure he protected the ball well there. The man who in fact played against Orlando Pirates for Black Leopards in the Nedbank Cup final. Now looking to help his current club get one over his ex-club that he helped move from the National First Division into the PSL a couple of seasons ago. Mapena couldn't get the right angle and pass towards Pumai on the near side. And for Leopards now, the last thing they would have wanted was to concede early, of course, after having opened the scoring here at the Orlando Stadium. 4 minutes, the difference after having found the back of the net until conceding. That will be all too short in defensive discipline. Sevilla. Shingila, of course, the man watching Tlou Segolela out on that far side. He'll now be keeping a close eye on him. Pirates fans will be happy to see Roy Mahamota back in that starting lineup. 2 balls on the field. Play continues. Now the referee himself has gotten rid of the ball outside of your picture.
That's the man that had to deal with it, Vuvuzela in Devon.
Andile Jali, that is the match referee. One of the
and I haven't seen Vuvuzela as ever seen.
I was going to say one of the moments in this campaign, not one we're very proud of, but certainly one of those moments when we look back at this season that make it a special moment mention in years to come.
Well, there's also a resolution in Brazil that no vuvuzelas. They've come up with their version, of course. I'm trying to think about the name.
Now, Mabunda. Ah, that's good skill from Mabunda. Looking for the angle. Couldn't quite find the pass out to that far side. Good vision in trying to pick out Raymond Manama.
That confidence with his left foot. He's got a beautiful goal against the Mamelodi Sundowns, Mabunda.
Here's Mapena. Manyisa's come up with an assist. Looked as though he was going to take the shot from range. Man two-headed in the end is Tlou Segolela.
Zion confidence. He's got a goal so far. Tried to take that one with his left foot. Not the strongest. You can see the intention there. Trying to kill it. But it's nowhere near the target.
4 goals for Segolela this season. Spent much of the season coming in off the bench. Manyisa. Mapena. Zaga operating on this near side, looking for Ramakalela. Holds it up nicely, then also protected the ball away from Draba. Interesting battle between those who will continue here. Sibaya and Leopards push forward towards that final third. And Sibaya again. Bobe. We'll be looking for another flick on here. This time the Pirates defense is solid with Happy Jele winning it in the air. Now space to turn into here for Magola. He's got Masubu on this near side. Uses him for pushing forward. There are good numbers back defending for Leopards, but Masogo's got pace and the ability to eliminate numbers. Great recovery then by Zaga.
He had to time the tackle, but good improvisation coming from Ketoa Kemasuku, and that's what you need to do. Just around the box, take the opposition, accelerate. But what a timeless tackle from Zaga. Did well.
That's when Didi Mapaha. Well, look to ensure everybody's picked up inside that box. In swinger, near post. Easily defended by the first defender then. Pungwayo outmuscles Ramakalela. Those two would have been teammates for South Africa at under 23 level a few years ago. There's Tlou Segolela. Now Magola, they're looking for that 1-2 then. Again, the referee taking up a nice angle to make that call on whether there was an obstruction or not there.
That's good refereeing. It was near the action, there was no foul at all. No, he was hoping for it, Tlou Segolela.
And those two are again, they'll be locked together for the duration of the evening then. Ramakalela along with Daba.
You can tell who's stronger. Ramakalela eat lots of mangoes, so he's the strongest.
And won that battle for strength, that's for sure, did Ramakalela. Little touch in there from Mongezibobi. Monama. Well, he's tried his luck from some way out. Raymond Monama here, looking to add on to his 3 goals on competitions in this season.
Good pass off the ball, Raymond Manama. On a good day, he could destroy any opposition.
Certainly can, amongst the creative spots in this Black Leopards midfield, along with Mabunda. Now, for Leopards, came into this game knowing that a win will see them going above Shipper United. We'll have a look at the log in a moment to see exactly how things are for them as things stand. But here's a challenge that's seen both men pick up a bit of a knock. Both of them should be able to continue here with Mapena amongst those involved.
Who's the guilty party? It's Mabusela who's the guilty party. From the strong combination with Humphrey Koza, good man marker.
Well, for Orlando Pirates, winners on 2 occasions or in 2 seasons running. Now, as things stand, find themselves just 3 points behind Platinum Stars before the last fixtures of the season here. We'll face a tough last fixture with Roger Dessau, also looking forward to action in the CAF Champions League. Still a chance for second place, depending of course on the result over the weekend for Platinum Stars.
I think also it's the bonuses. What's the second prize money? 5 million rands? 5 million rands, and there's about 3 million rands winning number 3.
Leopards do have, by the way, here, Brian, just 10 men on the field, along with Pirates as well. Mapena making his way back onto the field in the very near future, while Zataga's back on the field as we speak. There he is at the bottom of your picture. Then again, as that ball slips through and Bobe picks up. I think the incentive is a little bit more than just the financial bits here for Orlando Pirates. They won't want to think they've dropped too far back, I was going to say, after your statement a little bit earlier, Mate, after last season's impressive showing. Bobe hit that and found the sweet spot then. Outlocked it was. Oupa Manyisa.
He's enjoying himself. You can see he drops back. Oupa Manyisa gets the ball from the defender, starts the moves. That's vintage Oupa Manyisa. Didn't have the best game against Sundowns.
Up against a Leopards side in their last 15 matches, Brian Mate have won 2, lost the rest in their last 15. 1-2, lost everything else. 1-30 or lost 13. So, here are Pirates looking to worsen their trouble. Good ball in, Mapena on that near post. Turns it in for his first of the season. And it's Pirates in under 20 minutes that have come from behind to grab the lead at the Orlando Stadium.
And I'm sure in the minds of the fans is that where have they been? Where has this type of performance been? They lost against Mamelodi Sundowns, Chippa United. They've created chances and they were not finishing. And tonight they are. It started with Tlou Segolela and now it's this man, Miso Mapena. Again, Black Leopards not solid in defense. And they should clear their lines and they couldn't and they got punished. Let's look at the movement here. It's combination play. It's Tlou Segolela getting involved. You look at that. You don't just trap the ball, you try and clear it, you don't try and get fancy, and they got punished.
Makula the first to pounce here. Look at the movement of the ball from Mapena. That's the striker's instinct that the Pirates fans are yearning for. He took up a good position on that near post and slotted it home then quite confidently.
Tough lesson. Miranda tried to just trap the ball inside the box. It didn't work because the reaction from Pomakula, it worked so well. Got to the ball. Is this the latest dance? You should tell me.
My dancing days are way behind me, but clearly for one Mapena here at the Orlando Stadium, he's still very much in the current day. Now, Roger Dessau up on his feet and looking to ensure his side keep that pressure on, keep those goals coming in. Goals from Segolela and Mapena have not only cancelled out that from Ramakulela, but have seen Pirates go 2-1 up. Leopards last kept a clean sheet in their 10th match this season. Their 10th match this season. This is match number 29 of the campaign. When they played against IS Cape Town, won by a goal to nil. Defensively, they haven't been good enough in the Absa Premiership this season. Nowhere near that, and they've got more defensive woes. Yes, the ball is killed in by Masogo and very nearly finds the top corner. Good goalkeeping on that occasion from Mapaha.
That's excellent goalkeeping. But what an inviting ball from Ketoa Kemasuku. He improvises. Again, look at these long balls. Played for him. Good first touch. He wants to improvise. He fancies the opportunity. It was dipping and picking up. Maybe a bit of deflection. It had a goal written all over.
That was going in.
Yeah.
Initially didn't look like it, but that late curl and dip. He nearly did Leopards in here. Another ball in. Header on the far post. Header! off the other side of the ball. Blasted and cleared off the line. Then good confident call of no penalty from Andile Jali. And it's looking as though we may be in for a feast of goals here this evening if they continue to defend this way, Brian Matt.
They don't look convincing at all defensively. Black Leopard, they had a good start. They scored a beautiful goal, courtesy of Ramagalela. But in defense, they have been shaky. And they have been outsmarted, outplayed by Orlando Pirates, and the pace as well. It's catching up.
Juman. For Orlando Pirates, the last time they scored 2 goals in a match was against Ice Cape Town in the 2-2 draw. That was 5 matches back. Before that, you'd have to go back to the 26th of February as the last time they scored 2 goals in a match, meaning they've only scored 2 goals in a match before tonight on 2 occasions in 2013. They've struggled from a goal-scoring point of view in 2013, that's for sure.
I don't know about you, but I think they look all relaxed. And because of their relaxed play with so much authority, they seem to be enjoying themselves.
Yeah, they are looking to enjoy possibly scoring a 3rd, not to be that time around. For Leopards, the problems are plenty. Suddenly they're struggling to play it out of their own half, struggling to hold on to it in the Pirates' 3rd of the field. The more the clock takes over, the less we see of Brighton Klong, or the man making a debut in the PSL for Orlando Pirates, between the sticks.
Black Leopards will be forced to take risks very early, try and push in numbers, because they run the risk of being counter-attacked and being punished.
Well, those lines just ahead of Black Leopards in the Absa Premiership log standings may have been slightly worried with the start in the smash with Leopards, the first to open the scoring. As things stand now, they'll be happy knowing Leopards, as you mentioned, have to take the risks, which means Pirates may find those spaces they're looking for to go on to find a 3rd if they can. Chipper United and Ice Cape Town will be smiling at the way things are standing right now. Also Chipper United. Manyisa, good movement off the ball. Jele, this is a chance for a 3rd, but the flag was up for offside then.
It's a good variation. I think the expectations was the long ball inside the box, but Happy Jele made that run, couldn't time it, and ended up being offside.
Something a little different then from Orlando Pirates from the set piece. Remember the likes of Peter Msimani during his Supersport United days, speaking of the importance of set pieces and how his side was being cut up out on the continent in CAF competitions due to set pieces. Pirates a side that's currently on the up and up and looking for a 3rd offside. Manyisa once again was outstanding before that flag went up.
He's enjoying himself. Was it offside? We'll probably have to look at it again. Was it? Look at this run here.
Just.
Yeah, he was offside. Just.
Fraction of a second making the difference then in Roger Desar's men finding a 3rd. A little early to say, but would you say Roger Desar is a coach that's under pressure? 2nd in the log, taken over side that's won the treble for 2 seasons running. Yes, you have gotten into the group stages of the CAF Champions League, but is he a coach under pressure with how the side has fared domestically?
Well, look, if you are a coach at Pirates and Chiefs, you're always under pressure. From day one when you take over, you are under pressure to deliver. It doesn't matter whether the team had produced at the time or not, you are under pressure.
Perfect example of that, of course. Rudy Kroll won the treble, didn't stay for the next season. Julio Leal took over, won a cup competition, if not 2, if memory serves me right. Didn't finish that season, and so the story goes.
Yeah. And you know, with Mr. Palacios, he had to go to the hospital to have his hip replacement and all of that. It's very stressing to be part of Orlando Pirates, but it's good. It's good atmosphere as well. There's challenges, but these are the institutions that you'd want to be part of in terms of making a name for yourself.
Now, a few weeks ago, we did a game here, in fact, a month or so ago, where Andile Jali was, well, battered and bruised at the end of the encounter against Pretoria University. Quite a knock then. Was that at the FNB Stadium?
That was at the FNB
yes.
Stadium.
Battered and bruised at the end of it all then. Took a heavy knock then. Happy to see that he's well, gotten up onto his feet, moving on with life.
And I do believe he might be reunited with that man, that tall man, only this time as a teammate.
If speculation is anything to go by, or the rumor, word on the street. Zaba. And has also come out, according to media reports, a month or so ago, saying he felt he should have played more at Pirates. Still, it's Pirates looking for that third! Oh! A lot of power on that strike from Masugu. He's certainly looking to put his former side to the sword here.
Not too sure if power is the solution to that, because it's an inviting ball. Again, you look at Mabusela, not convincing when it comes to getting that ball. I've seen Okonko placing the ball in those sort of angles, using the instep. Do you go for power? Not so convinced. If he had gotten it right, well done to him. And sometimes he's got to try and simplify things.
Bobby. That was well anticipated then by Roy Mahamuta. Surely many of the Pirates supporters will be happy to see him back. Of this Pirates back four, of course, there is Roy Mahamuta back from long-term injury. Jele on the move out on the far side, another man who suffered a horrible injury, who made his return during the course of this season. Now playing the ball down the line. It's a lovely ball. 2 men inside the box here. Good defending.
Talk about a horrible injury. I think there's a stage where his ego got bruised when they lost against Maruti. He was the captain. I'm sure he's looking forward to getting a victory for the team as a captain. Happy Jele.
Here he is on the ball now. Manyisa. Jele's on the move. Jaman. Over 2 Puwayo. Mapena. Didn't quite work out the first time, but set up beautifully for him. Couldn't quite find Makola then, and that was Mabunda there assisting defensively. And for Leopards, they are allowed to play it out to right about the halfway line. At that point, it's where Orlando Pirates seem to, well, take ownership of the ball here at the Orlando Stadium. Full control on the home side. Tlou Segolela, quick passing, good movements, and at times desperate defending.
It's exciting, easy on the eye to watch Orlando Pirates knocking the ball around, creating the chances, shots and goal, the finishing from Dumisho Bana and Tlou Segolela.
Here's Goda. Anyway, we'll do for a Leopard side, if you want to know, it took 4 against Orlando Pirates the last time these sides met. Besuma and Jumayelo Clayton, Jele, the scorers then. That was Jele's first goal. Pirates is coming back from that injury. Quite a return that was for him.
It was an awkward ball because I think it was played to him by Dane Clayt and he finished it off. Happy Jele. It was against the Black Leopards when that man who's fond of the 18 area, Benny McCarthy, scored his first goal for Orlando Pirates.
Now, Ramakalela using his strength against Daba. Ramakalela, sharp play then. Still alive, Manama's next. Good defending on the far side from Happy Jele. If there is to be some joy for Black Leopards here this evening, it may very well come from Rodney Ramakalela.
Is it appropriate to say he's being bulldozed Andile Jali by this man who pulls the trigger, gets the shot on target, but he was denied by Brighton Mhlongo. He's having the better of Andile Jali, this Ramakalela.
Important touch in there from Brighton Mhlongo. Of course, with that last save, would have been grateful to see after he fisted the ball clear that it didn't fall for the 2 Leopards players that were approaching the box. Went wide of them, but that would have been a certain concern for him shortly after making that save.
question of confidence. He's done well so far. That save from Ramagarea.
Jermaine, one of those scorers in that last win for Pirates against Black Leopards. Tlou Segolela. That's already having 3 ahead of him, looking to get into that final third. He's turning up the pace. Segolela, late challenge on him. Set piece it will be for Orlando Pirates.
He's causing havoc on the right-hand side. Tlou Segolela. He's enjoying himself. He's having the better of this man, Sibia. And it takes 2 to bring him down.
Bobby worries here out on that Leopards bench. Pirates have looked aside, good for another goal. Yeah, set piece, may catch that defense napping, it does. There's a great chance for Pirates. There's 3 for Pirates.
It is beauty. We saw the first variation with Happy Jele played on the left-hand side, couldn't time his run, and this time around it was a set piece on the right-hand side. They all went to sleep because they were expecting a long ball. And look at the run, the skill, the composure, and the finish. He should be happy. He says, "Yeah, thinking, boys, that's how I want it." Look at this. Look at the runner. They're all ball watching because they're not even aware of what's happening. And they got punished. It's a beautiful goal. Well worked.
Beautifully
and it's
done.
Mpamakola, the supplier. And it's Mabena, the finisher.
Well, he's waited a long time to get off the mark this season as Mapena. Now a couple of goals here this evening. Makola made that beautifully, plus was unselfish. And I think for young Swindini Mapara, he'll be unhappy with the defending here, how he is being protected. It's Orlando Pirates 3, Black Leopards 1 here. Mentioned earlier, the last match I did with the Black Leopards, they maintained the goal every 10 minutes did they, along with Mamelodi Sundowns right up until the 70th minute. Now we're doing a goal every 10 minutes. In fact, we are ahead of schedule as far as a goal every 10 minutes goes. So it could be yet another high-scoring goal against Black Leopards this evening. Segolela, they'll all be looking to try their luck now.
Can you imagine the impossible?
At this stage, the impossible would be Leopards turning it around.
Yeah.
Can never rule it out in the game of football, although it is highly unimaginable at this stage of the game. Pirates seemingly in full control here. Twelve in their last 3 that conceded coming into this match. Black Leopards taking another 3 here. Now it will be seen as an accomplishment for them defensively if they ensure in the next 10 minutes before the end of the first half they don't concede anymore.
Oh, this is still a safe score, very encouraging. 3-1, you could come back in the second half, but as it is, they've conceded 3 goals in the space of 35 minutes, a cause for concern.
Fourth corner of the evening for Orlando Pirates. 4 on that far post. Good ball in, and the marking nowhere to speak of. And Jele should have scored 2 against Leopards this season.
So much ball watching from the Leopards defense, but you've got to give credit for Pirates because they've done their homework when it comes to this set pieces, the variations that we're seeing here. And it's Katoake Masuku combining with Makula. You look at Happy Jele, he wasn't offside at all. But that glancing header just couldn't connect with the ball.
Weird bit of defending then from Leopards. Some are pushing up and pushing that offside line up. Those in the wide areas in that box are staying still. Those in the central are moving out, and in the end 2 or 3 of the Pirates players then were all unmarked right in the busy area, right in the danger zone for a white ball.
Well, the biggest question is, like they say, the politicians, who's the commander-in-chief? Someone that will be guiding that defense, will be giving out the instructions, and that's where you need that leader. Give out the instruction. Azindile Mapaha doesn't look convincing for me at the back. You look at Kirenda, Awusela. For me, they're good man markers, but not vocal in terms of guiding the defense. And you could see with Bobby going back to try and guide them, and it doesn't help still.
only sides that haven't scored 2 or more goals against Leopards since the turn of 2013 are Golden Arrows, along with the Ajax Cape Town. Everybody else has scored 2 or more against Black Leopards in the year 2013.
So what are you saying?
That defensive bit that we saw just a few moments ago, defensive play, well, the stats do back up the fact that those sort of plays may have happened all too often this season for Black Leopards. Respectfully, but yes.
They've been leaky at the back. And they get punished for that. Still early stages, they've considered.
In fact, I need to add another side onto that list. Swallows another side that's just scored 1, so 3 sides since the turn of 2013 have only scored 1, the rest 2 or more.
Who's the highest that's scored against Black Leopards at home? I remember Amazulu scored. Beat Leopards, was it 4?
Well, here's a chance for Leopards on this near post. Then they have another shot coming in here. A chance to pull it back, a second for Leopards. Makes it a strong ending to this first half and just a 1-goal game. Ramakalela always a threat, and well, every now and then they are creating chances of Black Leopards, great ones. It's just if they are able to defend better, things would be better, one would suspect.
What kind of defending is that from Ayanda Gaba, heading the ball back? Didn't get up high enough. And Monga's the ball, but didn't make full contact with the ball, played it straight onto the keeper. And Ramakalela, his shot nowhere near target, but question marks with the marking of Ayanda Gaba. He's the weakest link in the Pirates defense.
Jele there to clean up. Bobby, of course, had a chance then to make it 2 goals in 2 matches for Black Leopards, having scored against Mamelodi Sundowns. Along with Bunda. Approaching the last 5. Hard to believe here that there won't be another goal before the end of this first half. Both these sides have created chances to have scored more than what you see on the scoreboard if you are just walking in. Leopards could have scored 2 or 3. Pirates could have scored 4 or 5. Every 5 or so minutes, a chance, half or clear-cut goal-scoring opportunities created here at the Orlando Stadium. Pirates sending heavy numbers into that box, looking for the 3-goal cushion for the first time this evening. Near post. Again, if you are just joining us, Leopards were, by the way, the first side to open the scoring. 4 minutes it took for Ramakalela to open the scoring. Another 4 minutes it took for Pirates to find the back of the net, cancel that goal out, and they've been registering goals every now and then ever since. In the box once again here. Jele gets the flick on. Masugu. Little reverse pass then. All kept alive quite impressively by Jumael on this near side. Masugu. Just onside then was Dumiso Mapena. Good vision, good ball. Jele. Good numbers as well for Jele to try and pick out Jele around the box. Ball into that near post, was in search of Mapena.
What is exciting for me is to see the running of the ball from Ketoake Masuku, his distribution. Dumiso Mapena, he takes the ball, plays it onto the right hand side. The first thing that he does, he goes straight into the box because he's expecting a good return ball.
Seen very little, if you are just joining us, of the creative players such as Raymond Manama in the Pirates half of the field here, along with Tiani Mabunda. They're the men that can pick a pass, make something happen out of nothing at times.
Well, he's likely to get the supply because he's forced to go into a defensive mode. Pirates pushing numbers, Happy Jele going down the line, he's forced to go in.
Mabunda amongst those push forwards, sees it float over his head and over the bar. Disappointing set piece then. Now for Black Leopards, right at the bottom, And that's how the scenario will look going into the last fixtures of the season over the weekend. There will be just a 2-point difference between them and Chippa United going into the weekend fixtures. Should Chippa not get the favourable result, and Leopards do, Leopards can still get that playoff spot. What's the big news for Orlando Pirates this week as Manama finds the good ball? Leopards now pull through into that box. Far post, man, they're defending. Leopards will pick it up quite comfortably here in Zaga, as 4 up ahead of him, 1 wide to the right, 1 out on the far side of Manama, plus 2 inside the box in the central bits of the box. Decision making, poor.
Very poor, a rush of blood to his head. But again, the best option is on the right-hand side to try and engage Ramagarera so that you can add numbers and try and unlock Orlando Pirates. But then again, if he had gotten the shot on target, it would be saying something different.
Well, there is a man out in the field that does get those stunners every now and then. Out to the far side, the right back, in fact, for Orlando Pirates and Happy Jele.
Yeah, he's had a few memorable goals that he scored from a distance.
I was saying the big news for Orlando Pirates, the draw for the CAF Champions League, same group as Al Ahly along with Zamalek, and of course AC Leopards of Congo, Brazzaville. Here they are in that final third. Ball in into the box, that should be kept alive. Yeah, Manyisa careless with the ball on that occasion. Haven't seen that too often from him this evening. Leopards are equally as careless in a more dangerous area. Masuku really does want that goal against his former side. Makola may very well deserve a goal after he impressively set up the Orlando Pirates third. Gets the corner this time around.
And you could see he wanted to place that ball. Got a good pass from Oupa Manyisa.
If you've joined us late, sitting on a brace in search of a hat-trick. Segolela, the other man to have found the back of the net. Amongst those that stood out at Free State Stars last season, interesting that, well, for the first half of the season, if memory serves me right, at Free State Stars last season, didn't get all too much game time, was heavily used in the second, if memory serves me right. Amongst the most skillful in that group of players out at Free State Stars. Of course, there have been so many changes, as is always the case out there, and going playing staff every season. Jele's early with the delivery, nobody really in the box then to capitalize. Closing out this first half, let's get your thoughts, Brian Mate. Well, we said it was about pride and survival. Pride for Orlando Pirates, survival for Black Leopards. Pirates are sitting pretty, but what have your first half impressions been here?
Well, when Ramagarera scored that goal, I saw determination for survival for Black Leopards, but lapses of concentration, determination from Orlando Pirates. Once they got that equalizer courtesy of Oupa Manyisa, they looked a much more attractive team, and they capitalized on the mistakes they made. And Dumiso Mabena, supplied by Mpomakula, capitalized as well and scored a brace. So Pirates, on the other hand, they regrouped themselves, got the passing right, got the rhythm right, and they brought their scoring goods. They are 3-1 up.
Manyisa with the beauty of an assist. If you missed it a little bit earlier, you can catch up with that on the half-time highlights. Another impressive assist came from Makola. Segolela and Mabena, the men to profit off of those beautiful pieces of play. What a difference a year makes. Segolela last season, fringes of the Bafana setup. This season, struggled to break into the Orlando Pirates starting 11, and thus has fallen further and further away from a Bafana call-up, one would think. Same can be said for Kaba, the central defense for Orlando Pirates. Masogo split the two Pirates players then on the edge of the box in half with that pass. for Brighton Tlou. Shocking start to the match. Not that he did anything wrong. He did well to get a hand onto the shot from Ramagalela, but a bit of a shock to the system in his introduction to the PSL, with Leopards early to go into the lead, but he'll be happy with the way things have fared since. Also came up with one impressive save after that. Little else to do outside of those 2 moments. Has been Orlando Pirates very much in the driving seat here. Ramagalela fouled by Gaba. Leopards with a chance here, seconds remaining in this first half to possibly pull one back and make it a 1-goal game going into the half-time break. They need the brilliance of Ramagalela, who's now staring at double figures should he score once again before the end of the season on 9 goals. Nama stands over it. Leopards with 4 in the edge of the box towards the far side. It's the left foot of Manama. Looked as though he was going for goal. Tlou does well. That is the end of the first half. Positive first half it has been to Orlando Pirates after a bit of a slow start, with Leopards the quickest out of the starting blocks. Rodney Ramagalela, the man to have opened the scoring with a stunning strike just after 4 minutes. Then came the Orlando Pirates show with, well, the likes of Mabena coming to the party, finding the back of the net for the first time and second time this season for Ndumisa Mabena. Tlou Segolela, while scoring a lovely goal then with a stupendous assist coming in from Oupa Manyisa, cross-field ball, and Segolela just kept on running. And all he needed was a one touch on the volley to put it beyond Azwindidi Mapaha. Leopards have it all to do in trying to turn things around while Pirates are cruising. It's Pirates 3, Leopards 1.
Sensation.
Saturday, September 7th, Coca-Cola Dome, Johannesburg.
Be part of the night. Dress in white.
Tickets available at computicket.com and sensation.com. Presented by Samsung.
What's in a season where history is made and memories engraved? But it's not this we remember. It is the extraordinary that sticks. The big business deals. The unexpected turns where impossible turned possible. The rise of unsung heroes and the vanquishing of villains. As the world's focus turns to football, the international season concludes right here on SuperSport, your world of champions.
$50, he wants a triple.
Triple of his strongest.
Bad day?
Car insurance won't pay. I just got fired. My builder ran away with my wife. After a payback.
I get this all the time, you know. You don't need a drink. You need a smart lawyer.
Legal wise. Thanks, bro.
LegalWise Gold. Gold Plus and Platinum. Don't talk to me. Talk to my lawyer.
The Premier Soccer League presents the Absa Premiership. The Absa Premiership. Make out fella.
Orlando Pirates in the driving seat against Black Leopards here at the Orlando Stadium. They've scored 3 after Leopards were the first side to find the back of the net, and for Pirates, their supporters will be happy. The last time they saw their side score more than 2 goals in the match was in fact against Black Leopards when they thrashed them 4-0. That was a long time ago, back on the 21st of November. They've had to wait a long time to see their side, well, firing on all cylinders, and it certainly is the case here. They'll be even happier to see the likes of Mapena coming in with a brace along with Tlou Segolela. And for Black Leopards, well, the situation here was a desperate one coming into their last 2 matches. It's getting even more desperate as the season draws closer and closer to the finish line here in the 2012-13 Absa Premiership campaign. Precious little for Pirates fans to, well, shout about so far in the year 2013 outside of the CAF Champions League, but here this evening they've got reason to be smiling. I'm joined by Brian Marte in the commentary booth here, and it's been quite a display of attacking football from Orlando Pirates, minus the slow start, of course, with Leopards getting off to a fly in the opening 4.
You're right. Expectations, more goals. That's what we want to see. And we're getting to its end of the season. We expect to see more goals. It's survival for Black Leopards. I'm sure it could be a game of 2 halves where they will be encouraged to come out and get 2 more goals and maybe go on to win this one. They turned it around against teams such as Ajax, where Ajax were leading them, and they turned things around second half and went on to win that game. They were playing at home, and this time they're playing away against a team that always had the better of them.
Difference, of course, between Ajax, that match against Ajax and Orlando Pirates. Ajax were leading by just a goal to nil coming out for the second half. Then with Juan Kambule and Ramakalela turning things around for Black Leopards in the second half of that encounter. That's the last win for Leopards this season in the Absa Premiership. Leopards, the first side out of the tunnel. Yeah, they came out about a minute or so before Pirates made their way out of the tunnel. They're beginning to trickle out of the tunnel of the Pirates flares, and for Black Leopards, it's good to see Monga Zimbabwe as the captain here, having a lot to say. If they are to turn things around here, they need to firstly open things up, go into the attack and capitalize on the chances they create. For the coaching staff, the plus is, barring that 1 goal scored, they did have 1 or 2 other good chances to find the back of the net at Black Leopards. If they are better defensively, they could still pull one back, make it a 1-goal game, and anything can happen from that point on. As for the men in your picture, very much in the driving seat and looking to keep the good times rolling here in the second half, looking to keep finding the back of the net. Of course, that is the hope from their supporters, whilst the neutrals will be hoping these sides continue to entertain by scoring goals and, well, giving us plenty to talk about once this match is done and dusted. Andile Jali, by the way, is just shown 1 yellow card that went to Tlou Segolela. We haven't seen much of him here this evening. He's had a good evening in officiating this match. He'll look to keep it going here in this second half. Both sides out on the field here. Looking to confirm if there are changes made here by Black Leopards. It looks as though it will most definitely be the case. They will be the first side to make a change. That'll come as no surprise here in the second half.
Well, I mentioned that Mawusela is to form a strong combination with Humphrey Khoza, so they've been leaky at the back, and I think the first things first, they would want to come up and consolidate at the back and beef up the strike force, because Humphrey will come on.
Well, he is coming on, and Mabusela is the man that's going to make way.
They'll also beef up front. Obacha will come on. You know his qualities. He's a hard runner.
Of course, a man who enjoyed a lot of football last season, and of course followed that impressive group that featured a lot and also played that impressive role in the CAF Confederations Cup last season. Obacha was also part of that group, and he replaces Sizwe Sibia in midfield, so they are looking to take out a midfielder, deep-lying midfielder, for a more attack-minded player in Obacha. Pirates, in the meantime, get the second half underway, attacking the goal to the right of your picture here. Well, they pick up where they left off at the end of the first half, and, well, in that first half, they always look like a side that would continue to find the back of the net. Will that be the case? Crossfield ball in search of Segolela, just couldn't keep it alive then.
And the biggest problem was to allow that ball to bounce. Instead of just as it's about to land, control it. It's always going to be difficult, but good vision from Ketoake Masuku to try and release Tlou Segolela.
Segolela to the furthest forward, applying pressure. It's good enough to see battle for the ball here involving Bobe. They've seen Pirates concede the throw-in just outside their final third. So Leopards will look for the bright start here. An early goal in the second half, maybe just what the doctor ordered in trying to turn things around. Khoza was start showing in that challenge as he went in. will come in handy, Humphrey, because for the set pieces, any corners that Leopards may be able to get then. As the Chiefs, by the way, in what will be a curtain raiser, some would call it, to the Nedbank Cup final, leading SuperSport United by a goal to nil. One of the two games we are showing this evening on your World of Champions. That match taking place out at the Peter Mokaba Stadium. Good play, this. Good challenge as well. As is the scenario whenever a side is lurking where Leopards are in the relegation zone. Many of the clubs that are in the PSL will be looking around at the squad and maybe intending to sign one or two of their players, Brian Mate, coming into the next season, should Leopards not avoid the drop. And I'd be interested to know which players out there you're thinking might be on some coaches' list. I'm thinking the likes of Mabunda and Monama as well.
Well, I'm thinking Ramagalera. We might see wearing a black and white jersey. Monama will have strong competition. There's plenty of midfielders in the country, so he's one of those that you'd want to get in your books. He's a skillful player. Depends on what he brings into that particular team. We know his qualities.
There are a few teams I can think of off the top of my head that could use his services.
I hope you're not talking relegation. I'm listening.
Makola with the touch then, the early ball forward. Mapena giving chase. He's looking for a hat-trick if you are just joining us. At one side that's lost out on some attacking midfielders, a couple of them for now, could be more going into the off-season as Morocco Swallows.
Now that you're mentioning Morocco Swallows, there's now that Chinene will be leaving, so he's a possibility. I think he could do slightly well as a scout.
I think so too, thanks for the compliment. There's Koza with the touch. Now, Manyisa. If you weren't with us in the first half, Manyisa picked out a pass from round about the halfway line, just inside the opposition, off of the field, diagonal ball with Tlou Segolela with just one touch to find the back of the net. Quite a pass that was. Pass of the evening so far. That goes without saying.
Does it qualify for a champagne pass?
Champagne pass for sure.
You must pay royalties to Dr. Kumar.
Some would say Hollywood pass. Ball into this near side. Opache battling against Jele. That should make for an interesting second half of this near side. Supporters Jingela. Early ball. Bobe, good touch. Bobe trying to trail across the face of goal. Well defended then by Roy Mahamota. Was with Roy Mahamota back. Just in time, of course, to, as the overhead comes in there, no problems for Brighton Klongo, but just in time for Roger Desart, give him a few games or a game here or two before going into the Champions League.
He's not too happy, Roger. I think in terms of his defense, they are allowing Black Leopards into the box, and once more we're seeing Ramagalera dominating in that Pirates box. Bicycle kick, got the ball on target.
Manyisa. Segolela. Quickly on the move is Segolela here. Makola had to keep it moving quickly now. Pirates getting in behind that defense flag has stayed down, should be. And is, well, marshaled by Azwindini Mapaha.
Was almost a champagne pass. Did well there. Look at this pass, it's good vision. It forces you to make a run, go for it, but the goalkeeper is making it difficult for Ketoa Kumasuku.
Now, chance for Leopards possibly, but numbers going forward here. Bonama. Wide to Opache, can't get the better of Happy Jele. Seasoned defender is Jele. Done well to play it out. Segolela with the ball in field. Magoda.
You know what's been impressive for me to watch on this Pirate stream is the decision making. You know, Tlou Segolela making the first time touch, you know, expecting a return ball. That's what's been missing.
Obaje, 3 on the edge of the area. Shumaelo there to deal with anything that's not in the air. Obaje once again, he needs a bit of support here. They were a little slow in reacting. In the end, he's somehow found a teammate towards the near post, but how's that for a recovery? Segolela. Bit of a difference here in the opening 5-6 minutes of the second half. Leopards spending a lot of time inside the Orlando Pirates half of the field, something they enjoyed precious little love. Need to worry about that counter-attack with pacey players out there such as Masogo. Masogo still with a step over here, 2 in the box. One wash by Zaga.
We mentioned the risk that Black Leopards have to try and take push numbers forward with Obaje coming on. They'll try and do that, but again the danger is Pirates catching them on a counter.
For Orlando Pirates, though, their supporters will be hoping they keep up that intensity of the first half and don't take their foot off the pedal. Surely that's what Roger de Saul will be hoping for as well. What have your thoughts been in that regard in the opening 8?
Well, it's always tricky when you lead 3-1 and you come out to the second half. The opposition that's trailing will always put pressure on you, and there's also a sense of complacency because you're leading. And that's what Roger would be trying to address. He would have tried to address those sort of things. You say don't get complacent, but at the same time get organized in midfield and in defense.
Obaje. There you have it. Second half possession stats here pretty much tells the story. Leopards now with 63% of the ball here in the second half, and it supports the notion that Leopards have upped their game and maybe Pirates have dropped theirs just a bit. Yeah, paired with Leopards spending so much time in the Pirates half of the field. Masogo, yet another counter assist for Pirates. Masogo, one fine Magola. He's running hard at that defense as Masogo. In the first half, we saw him having a few shots at goal from the edge of the area.
Well, for some of us who have the privileges of interacting with the likes of Tebo Homoloy, I had a chat with him with regards to Masuku, and he's saying at training they always put a defender in front of him, trying to encourage him to take and improvise on situations like that, and it's been working out tonight.
Nice touches then from Manyisa to find Jele, just one in the box in Mabena. During his Leopards days though, seemed a player that was fearless in trying to take on opposition players from the wide area. Masogo.
The advantage now is that he's got the likes of Tebo Homoloy, who probably have seen him, and he also enjoys taking players on, so he will share that experience, and that is why you're seeing him unfolding and showcasing his ability.
Segolela has no problems in that regard, of course, taking on players. Sometimes he does so when many wouldn't advise him to do so. Here's Obaje. That is the thing with wing play though, and good point you've made about Tebo Homoloy and the advice he's giving to Masogo in wanting to take players on. During his day he used to take them on, sometimes in slow motion. He and the likes of Dr. Kumalo wasn't the pacey type, if memory serves me right.
Not the, he was quick when he's in possession. I think he was one of the most exciting players, and him and Dr. Kumalo would go to the salon on the day before the match, you know, so very skillful players.
Makola's ball for Segolela. Oh, it's time around to protect the ball. Now 3 in the box, sneak the right ball. Well, they are trying to help Mabena find the hat-trick. He'd made the movement towards the near post. Very similar movement in the sort of movement that saw him find his first of the evening. Now, happy Jele. Very nearly took on 3 then.
I think he got too excited.
After eliminating 2.
Yeah. He used to be a right back at the Orlando Pirates, playing in that. Never won the captain's armband. His name was George Harare Makuele. Good right back.
Happy Jele has held on to that position for a good number of years now.
Mind you, that's a player that, he said he's much more comfortable playing as a centre-back. But now enjoying that back position.
Ask anybody if they remember Happy Jele playing in central defence, they'll have to think long and hard.
Well, he's played there before. McFish came out as a striker and became the best centre-back.
Didn't have to do much. Left the man watching him on the floor then in Bobe for just a moment. It was quick to get up. Pongwaya once again. Now Paris beginning to hold on to the ball and stroke it around that field in the opposition half of the field. Njumayel. More Masugu. Improvising. Shaking things up. Finding Manyisa. Magola, Manyisa is looking good from Pirates. Manyisa, that pass from Abena just behind him and a little too high.
Played on the ground, compliment the runner. It all started on the left-hand side. By who? Ketowake Masugu. And he combined with Oupa Manyisa. And he got into Magola. But the final pass, keep it on the ground because he's already made that run. If you keep it on the ground, you're making his job easier.
Oupa Manyisa was so much to do with that ball then to Mapena, but more like it from Orlando Pirates as we approach an hour's play. Happy Jele. Segolela. Apache. Outnumbered, outwitted. Pirates on the move. Magola. Manyisa. The touch then from Masugu. He's enjoying himself here.
He's opening up. He's a free spirit. I mean, you look at him, I've never seen him do this sort of tricks before. So, like I said, they look much more relaxed and they're enjoying their football.
Segolela. Early ball from Segolela. Not the best of defending then from Koza. Fortunate to see it trickle away from Mapena. Monama into Bobe. Turn now Orlando Pirates to hold on to the ball and for Leopards to struggle to do so. Bag of tricks has come out to that far side. It's impressive. Past the box found the man and the cross very nearly gave Mapena a chance at that hat trick. That left side is very much alive for Orlando Pirates. Manyisa. Segolela now is eliminating numbers. Everybody's getting in on the act here. It's good passing, it's great movement. It's Jele's ball. Chance possibly, is it? Koza with the important touch. Desperate times for Leopards once again here this evening. Harris took some time to get going here in the second half, but once they have found their rhythm, it's once again Pirates that look threatening, most likely to score. Segolela. Should be a card that should be the second card of the evening, and well, once you do whip out the bag of tricks as we see on the far side and the near side, the frustration begins to trickle through the defenders as well. Jele, the man who's made his way into the book, yes, second player to see yellow.
He was frustrated. You play against a skillful, pacey player, got to the ball first. That looked embarrassing, and that's why he resorted to illegal means.
I wasn't even shirt tugging, he wrestled his face to the ground. Mapena. Oh, little drop on the shoulder. Very nearly dropped Humphrey Koza then.
He was brought in to bring in stability, Humphrey Koza. You had Titi saying, giving me a name, Changanishulungu. Did you hear him say that?
Yes.
Yeah. Alose Losili. That's greetings, eh?
Oh.
Alose.
Oh.
Yeah.
We'll continue the lesson after the match, but there is Koza coming into good effect on the near post.
You'll get the lessons from Humphrey Koza. He speaks the language. He knows it better. He's communicating with Mavusela, Azvindini as well. They've got some defending to do.
8th corner of the match for Orlando Pirates. Good numbers in the box here. Decent ball! Oh, that's a great chance. Great chance to get in amongst the scorers. Make it 4 for Mahamusa.
They don't come any better than that. We saw Happy Jele missing a chance earlier on in the first half, and this one as well, so inviting. And guess who was the supplier? It's Ketoa Kemasuku, and he chose this man Roy Mahamusa, who could not convert. Created for him, glancing header, could not direct it on target.
We saw something similar to that from the Leopards defense, where on the near post and the far post they stay deep, in the middle they push out, and the Paris players don't stand a chance of being offside in that case, and a free header is what's left for the men in white and black here. And for Roy Mahamusa, yet to find the back of the net this season, it would have been quite a return to the starting 11 after that long injury layoff.
That's another one that started as a right back, ended up as a centre back now, Roy Mahamusa.
Well, Leopards own the opening 10 minutes of the second half in ball possession. Time spent in the opposition half of the field, but since then, it's been all Orlando Pirates. It's Pirates again, bossing matters in midfield, bossing matters in the opposition final third. Jumayelo flying in with the challenges.
He's made a quick, remarkable recovery from the injury he sustained. And then in Jumayelo, he's in command in that midfield in the absence of Andile Jali, who's also out on injury.
They've got talent in that midfield position to Orlando Pirates, and stocky players that are hard in the challenge, have an eye for a pass. Oupa Manyisa, Jumayelo.
There's Masale as well.
All of them very much in their mid-20s as well, which means they've got quite a future ahead of them.
Another player that we haven't seen much of is Manti Moholo. He's on the bench.
For Mr. TDL watching on here, well, the last couple of months have been rough on him, rough on the club. He's so representative of the Limpopo province in the Absa Premiership, struggling.
I tell you what, I can understand that concern that if he goes down to the first division, he might not come back quicker. Asked Jomo Sono, they're battling, it's tough in the first division now. It's no longer as easy as it was when Jomo would go down, come up, go down, come up. It's very tough now.
Maso. Happy Jele.
He's enjoying himself. I always say there's nothing wrong with the frills as long as they're benefiting the team. In the end, when you do those frills, don't give away possession. And he didn't. Instead, it is Happy Jele.
Well, they've got another player that's full of a whole bunch of tricks as we view this challenge once again, who maybe is not quite as adept at completing the pass after the trick in Mark Mayambe. Lamasugu here this evening, here in the second half more so, hasn't lost the ball quite importantly when he's come up with those little flicks and so on.
He's been doing well apparently, the reserve league, Mark Mayambela. My son likes him actually.
Segolela near post. That was whipped in like it should be whipped in. Well attacked as well by Kaba, with momentum attacking that goal line. Couldn't direct the goals, however.
With that sort of power that he got or he put on that ball, it deserves a goal. Maybe tailing that better, but look at the power. He did well to get in front of Miranda. Ayanda Kaba.
Nazwindini Mapaha, beaten on 3 occasions here this evening. Defending not quite what it should have been. Can't really take the blame for any of the goals he conceded here this evening. Bobe, forced backwards. A pass clearance only as far as Manyisa. Magola's had a good game here this evening. Segolela, good run from Jele, keeps it central, and maybe the easier ball was the best option there. Manama, now in the middle of the park, maybe to try and see more of the ball for Raymond Manama.
Well, one of his best games that I thought he was outstanding was in the Nedbank Cup final against the Orlando Pirates. He was at his best, but not tonight. His influence is missing.
Was also outstanding in the match against IS Cape Town, where Leopards came out to win as Ramakalela's fouled here by Mahamudza.
It must be tough, and all the torture for the Black Leopards players, particularly those that have been out there in the first division, come up with a team and get relegated, and just to get yourself all psyched up to survive all the time. It's mentally draining, but they've got to try and do it.
Bobe. Easy for Brighton. Tlou, men who came through the ranks out at Orlando Pirates did. Tlou, Soweto-born men, also spent some time out at Karangwa United and FCAK.
He's got a bright future. He's got the physique. Obviously, it's to mature. He's got likes of Senzo Mayua to help him out.
Just watching him as well then as that set piece was about to be whipped in. Vocal, which is always important for a young goalkeeper, so not necessarily overawed by the names that stand before him defending that goal line, the likes of Mahamud. So when you look up internationals all around, legends, some of them, well, many of them, when you consider they were part of that team that won 2 trebles in a row.
As long as he's not saying Praroy. You know that as long as he's calling him Roy, you know that's big vocal, that's big teammate. But if you go in and say Praroy, there's a man behind you, then that's a problem.
Yeah, when you do say man on, you need to say it with authority. Absolutely agree with you.
That's you saying Brian to me.
Yeah, off the mic, of course.
And just being vocal and getting the defense organized, it takes the pressure off you, because then you sort out the defensive situations. The danger can be read by the defenders. As a result, you don't have any goalkeeping to do.
Manyisa, it's lost one. Now looks to Mapena. Just the moment where he gets his hat-trick. No, unselfish. Manyisa puts Orlando Pirates 3 goals to the good. They lead Leopards by 4 goals to 1. How was that for a back heel from Mapena?
That's a beautiful goal. Well manufactured. And the finishing was so exquisite. He deserved the goal, Oupa Manyisa, because there was a stage where he started the move and he got a bad ball from Dumiso Mapena. But he gets the correct one this time around, and it doesn't disappoint. Again, it's the combination play. Makula gets involved. It's Mapena. He could have had a shot himself, but because of the peripheral vision, he spotted that man. And he was calm. He looks up. He picks the spot. He gets it on target. It's a beautiful goal.
Stanner, the no-look pass here from Mapena, the composure from Manyisa. Clinical Orlando Pirates in doing away with the Black Leopards. Only time Pirates have scored 4 this season in the Absa Premiership was against Black Leopards. They've, this time at home, faced Leopards again, scored 4 again. While Leopards were the first to open the scoring through Ramakalela. Goals have come in from Segolela, Mapena with a brace along with Oupa Manyisa. Jumael. Yellow card here from Mapena. Looks a little bewildered. So does Roger de Sá for that matter. Couple of goals, lovely assist. Orlando Pirates have enjoyed themselves here.
There's an appeal for a handball. Was it? Not convinced if it was.
No.
Andile Jali, he got that one wrong.
If it did touch the arm, what? A third of the ball would have maybe gotten onto the arm. 2/3 onto the chest or breast.
What did he say? Did he say breast? I'm not too sure what he's talking about. Check the
Chest, on the chest area.
Yeah, the chest area, that's more like it. Manti Moholo, you know about him, right?
Yeah.
He's about to come
You
on.
mentioned him earlier.
Yeah, you did.
It's one of the sides that, went a long way in making Steve Compella's job a little bit difficult in preparing for this current campaign. They pulled a good number of players out of that Free State Star squad that was so impressive last season. Moholo was one of them. Makula has played the ball out wide as another. Taba in defense. Masogo secures the pass. Flag stays down.
That's where you should start whistling for that trick, man.
Plenty of whistles coming out from the stands. No. Apache driving run here. Whilst the lack of Masugu and so on, Segolela really having fun in the opposition half of the field. And Chumayelo never forgets the job at hand, keeps it simple at all times then. And an example of that was the challenge he placed then on Apache. Conceded the throw in, but disciplined as always. One former Free State Stars man will come on for another former Free State Stars man, Brian Martin.
There's a conveyor belt of those players coming from Free State.
There's Masood. Reverse pass. Just kept alive, was it? No.
This is the one time where those tricks did not benefit the team.
Well, the fact that he has been out there as long as he has been, and just about every time he's gotten the ball here in the second half, Masugu's come up with those little flicks and so on. He stayed onto the field, yeah, so maybe what you are saying, the Orlando Pirates technical team agrees with. Yeah, yes, he's entertaining, but more importantly, the team is benefiting.
Like I'm saying, I have nothing against the tricks as long as you do them to the benefit of the team. Remember Skarangovesa?
Yes.
He had bag full of tricks, but he always used them to the benefit of the team. When he needed to slow the game down, he knew that he would be able to do that. But at the same time, he had good vision to pass you the ball.
Amidu will come on here for Leopards. Need 3 goals to get anything at all out of this match, and that already seems a tough ask when you consider there's 15.5 minutes remaining on the clock here. Kumete is made way. Ulisi Kumete, one of those that had picked up a yellow. We saw very little of him, not just here in the second half, throughout the evening, I think it's safe to say. Amitu was the scorer of the first goal of the season for Black Leopards. Goal that had plenty talking about him against Bloemfontein Celtic. Mahamuta, quick to push it forward. Yeah, he's carried on running in the middle of your picture then as Roy Mahamuta. Once the furthest forward as Pirates look for the quick counter. Masug. Oupa Manyisa got a few tricks of his own. Mapena. Finds a yard of space. Looks Sponjumayelo. Looking good from Pirates. In the end, they've lost a bit of momentum. Yes, Segolela has got the pace to keep it alive. Defenders are almost worried not to commit themselves in the fear possibly that they might be eliminated with men having quick feet such as Masugu and Segolela. Manyisa as well. Space to turn here for Masugu. Resisted the urge then to whip out the tricks, by the way.
You're right, because he was tempted to do that, but I think somehow he looked up, he saw the coach, and he said, I'm not going to do this. You take me off.
Dava. Well, for Black Leopards, it's looking tough going into that last game of the season. A game where they need to come up with the win and hope Chippa United don't do likewise if they're to avoid the automatic drop. With those fixtures coming up on Saturday, all of them kicking off at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll see. Pirates up against Maritzburg United in their very last fixture of the campaign. Segolela. Manyisa. Jumaelo.
The good thing that this Pirates team is doing is that they complement the runner. Once you make the run, you're guaranteed to get that supply. It's a question of what you do when you get the ball. So that's been good. The running of the ball has been impressive. The passing, the decision making, everything about them has been clinical tonight.
With foul by Happy Jele.
Did you know that about him? Now we know.
Yeah.
The sort of tricks that he can pull up.
Circus is in town.
They are happy. I mean, look at Segolela. He's so excited at the bench. He is having fun.
Can they finish it off with a goal is the question. Manyisa. From range. Easy from Apaha.
Well, the assistant coach, was the one that used to start the party for us every time.
Segolela trying that for the second time here in the second half against Jele. Their last match will be away from home to Free State Stars. That'll be a tough encounter with Stars trying to finish off with a top 8 place. Chippa United, of course, away to Amazulu. Leopards will take solace in the fact that Chippa, along with themselves, are away from home rather than playing at home.
If you do those sort of tricks in England, they'll say you don't respect the opposition. I remember Tottenham played against Orlando Pirates, and there was a player from Pirates that did those sort of tricks.
Seila Chabada.
Yeah. That's a Maya thing, and they say you don't have respect for the opposition.
So Amazulu Chippa United to look forward to, along with Duckies up against Kaiser Chiefs. Those are the 2 matches we will bring you on your World of Champions. This is Tanda Royal Zulu on Sunday from the Temba Sinamela Stadium. Aces play a good brand of football. Was fortunate enough to cover one of their matches a week or 2 ago. Thoroughly entertained on that Sunday afternoon, along with William Shongwe. Now, here's Manyisa. Wrestle to the ground here. Then he eliminated 2 or 3, and well, yes, we can compliment the Orlando Pirates players for the skill. We've seen them being able to eliminate players here and, well, keep the moves going. But what does it say for the Leopards players? You think maybe 1 or 2 of them have lost a bit of heart to put up a bigger fight in trying to ensure the man doesn't drift by you?
I think the entire team, so far, it's just individuals. It's not a team. They're not playing as a unit. If you look at it, it's just individuals trying to come up with something or try and counter Orlando Pirates, try and defend when there's a need to do that. And it's so disjointed.
Now that looks a good ball, good chance. Again, nobody keeping up with the runner out on that far side. There's a few, well, a little bit of finger pointing going on outside of your picture, but the marking throughout the game here for set pieces hasn't been impressive.
Well, it's even strange because if you look at it now from this angle, there's not even a single player that's trying to look back to see if there's anyone coming from behind. They're all watching the ball, and they almost got punished. He still doesn't look happy, Roger, to say. Even though the team is
I'm trying to think back all the years he's been coaching. Trying to think back to a game where he looked happy. while his side were possibly ripping apart opposition sides, and doesn't come all too often. Usually you get the joy from him, if it is to come, at the end of the match in the post-match interviews.
Maybe at the back of his mind he's saying, but why couldn't we do this? In crucial games that we played, Bloemfontein Celtic, we played Chippa United, we played Sundowns. Why didn't we convert the chances we did create?
Not create as many as we have here this evening in some matches. You'll remember the game against Chippa United. Didn't create much, did Orlando Pirates in that time. So, Pirates, just a point from Platinum Stars, exactly where they'll want to be here, especially with Platinum Stars, well, up against SuperSport United in closing out their season. No guarantee that Platinum Stars will walk away with the 3 points there. Of course, SuperSport recently having beaten them, but Leopards now still 2 points behind Chippa United. Mentioned earlier, Chippa up against Amazulu, fighting for a playoff spot. Now, ball in, edge of the area. Well, SuperSport United have just equalized against Kaizer Chiefs. 1-1 is the scoreline in that encounter.
Well, remember, Chiefs only needed a point.
It'll be secured then if it stays that way in that encounter. Well, many felt all across the country that it was pretty much done and dusted after the weekend's results. Khoza. Was that a back heel from Khoza? Stylishly done too. Here's Segolela, a bit of space on the far side. He's got the pace. Now needs a bit of support. One has to feel for Mabena here. 2 goals, 1 assist. Good game all around. Maybe not seeing as much of the ball as he saw in the first half here in the second, but still came up with that impressive assist when he could have gone for goal, one could argue. But still so close to that hat-trick with your side clearly outplaying or playing your opponents off the park, just hoping for that chance. They'll see you turn in your third.
That'll be a good boost.
Masugu has entertained, by the way, here this evening. Sorry to interrupt you there, Brian Days at the tricks. If you are just joining us, they've loved it here at the Orlando Stadium. Some of them we've never seen before in a match.
Check this one.
Here's the one you're looking for.
This is the one I like. Check that. He's not happy.
Keep in mind, Roger Desau was a defender or a goalkeeper, a defensive-minded player. During his playing days. But Masugu's on the move on the far side. Maybe he wanted the first time ball down that line. He would have had the pace possibly to get away from the man. Happy Jele. Fouled here. Irenda will be the latest man to go into the referee's book. Question now is, can Pirates find a 5th? And make this their highest scoring game of the campaign? If Pirates are to score a 5th, it'll be the 2nd game in a row that Leopards have conceded 5, and before that had conceded 4. Those numbers say it all for a side right at the bottom of the Absa Premiership log standings. He was going for goal then, Masugu.
Why? I don't understand, because the angle is very hard.
Substitution number 5 is number 4, Jele. Jele comes out.
So, Happy Jele, who was wearing the captain's armband, will come off late in the match here for Orlando Pirates. Good day at the office for the captain. Maybe he won't be happy with the fact that Leopards were able to find the back of the net, but other than that, his side has, well, done the business. Big Nzunga's the man on his place.
Well, he's been understudying Happy Jele, Nzunga. Few games that he's played, he's done well.
waste no time in getting involved and in eliminating a man. Oh, that's a good challenge. Going into the last 3 minutes. Pirates having the ball exactly where they wanted, well inside the opposition half of the field, hunting down that 5th goal. Pungwayo. Masugu. Manti Maholo. Into Mapena. Masugu. Zunga may have had worries he may not touch the ball after coming on as late as he did. He's touched it on a good few occasions in the last minute already. Mapena. Pungwayo. He's got the pace to get away from 1 or 2. Ramakalela, the man giving chase then. Did enough to Ramakalela. And Leopards still struggling to play the ball out of their own half here. Body language of the players in yellow out there. Looks aside defeated. Looks as though they can't possibly wait for that final whistle. Live to fight another day. Hope to survive to play another season in the Absa Premiership. Side that came into the Absa Premiership last season with precious little Absa Premiership experience in their squad, never mind just the bulk of their squad, but most of their squad, if not all of it. Miscued clearance, then they didn't get experience last season, didn't get it again, and maybe buying 1 or 2 players, kept things pretty much the same from the last campaign to this.
They did. If you look at your Obachas that came into the squad and that, they kept the core of the team that was with them during the first division days. Maybe you're right that they should have beefed up the squad, but a lot of it for me is the chop and changing of the coaches that have gone through. For me, that destabilizes the rhythm. There was a point where I thought they had it going, but they chopped and changed the coaches, and in the end they've got the same man that brought them into the first division, and it's probably going to get relegated with him still in charge. Sunday Shizamba.
There was a time when he qualified them, if memory serves me right, where he said, can't take them forward any further than I've done, and getting them to the Absa Premiership at the end of the season before last. Funny how things turn out.
It took Chipa to go through about how many coaches? 5 before he got the right man.
5 at last count.
They got a good happy birthday present when they beat Orlando Pirates. Chipa Mpengesi.
Mapena.
And I think they were ready to celebrate, because immediately after they scored, they had all those banners say happy birthday, chairman.
I think they would have whipped them out if they'd lost that match.
I don't think so. But it's interesting that immediately after scoring the goal, they had those banners out. Happy birthday, chairman.
As I say, funny how things turn out in life. Bobby.
What's also been interesting for me is how players prepare for certain occasions. And was it Dane Clay or someone that wished his mum?
Kevin Erasmus.
Wished his mum happy birthday, 50th birthday, and they had to do that after scoring a goal. So there's preparations behind the scenes.
Tusopala also wished a friend, I'd like to think, a happy birthday after scoring a goal recently.
There's no favours in this league. Arsenal relegated, Wigan 4-1.
How many days after winning the FA Cup? Life is cruel. Life in football can be cruel. Now, we've got enough time on the clock here, Brian Mate, to get your thoughts here. Firstly, let's talk about Black Leopards. They're a side that's looking to survive in the Absa Premiership. Seen enough here from them to think they might come up with an upset against Free State Stars away from home.
I don't think they'll survive. I think they're very low in terms of confidence. They scored the goal, but they're so leaky at the back. You look at how they considered. They scored early, and you would have thought they should have kept the composure. The defensive abilities should have been more precise, but they've been lacking. They've been losing away from home, conceding as well, lots of goals at home. They don't look like a side that would survive. They're lacking that hunger, and it's going to be even tougher in their last.
It's worth mentioning Orlando Pirates had won 1 in 10 before this evening. Leopards come into this match having lost 3 in a row before this evening. Last one against IS Cape Town, had lost 3 in a row before that evening against IS Cape Town.
I'm waiting for your second question now. You asked me the first question about Black Leopards. The second question will be about Orlando Pirates.
Well, the question is with Pirates, we've seen the likes of Mahamud coming back. There's talk of maybe Sangweni coming back in the very near future. And Segolela's on the attack here. Well, Ryan's a challenge. Segulela still. Oh, good save in the end from Mapaha here, and that's the question. In attack, do you think they've got enough going into Africa to shake things up, Roger Desasman?
Well, I think overall, when you look at those key positions, you look at the strike force, the pace, and the appetite, creativity, it's good to see the likes of Tlou Segolela giving them that option and potential to get the goals, because he's always got the vital goals for them. Up front, you know, the Mr. Mabena getting the goal for them, it's good in terms of beefing up the strike force. This man, Ketoa Masuku, also, you know, I think for me he's doing well in defense. Roy Mahamud's coming back, it's good for the squad. So they look exciting, Kadan and Chumayelo as well.
After 2 losses in a row, Orlando Pirates get back to winning ways here and hand Black Leopards their 4th loss on the trot. Roger Desar along with Orlando Pirates, impressive on the evening here. Dumisa Mapena with a brace goals from Segolela along with Manyisa. Outstanding football in some of the goals scored here. And for the youngster Brighton Klongo, gets the congratulations out between the sticks, and well, his first game it is in the Absa Premiership.
It is. He's emotional about it. You could see the captain, Happy Jele, going to him. It's been such an emotional occasion for him. He conceded 1 goal, but in the end, he was in a team that was so dominant. They won. They scored after they've conceded, and they've been enjoying themselves. He was forced to make a couple of saves in the first half, and it